Back hanging out with my guy, John Heisman, behind me, the first head coach here at Oberlin College in a place with tremendous history. I get asked the question why a lot. Why Oberlin College and the opportunity to build a program of success here? And it does start with our facilities. It starts with our campus, a jaw-dropping environment, but it really resonates with our people. And one of those people is with us tonight from our admission office. Anna Richardson was a student athlete here and a very good one, a multiple All-American in the track and field area, and she stayed with us and has a tremendous story. She's been a resource for us as we build this recruiting class, and just to introduce her here today in hopes that we can get her live and in color with you on a campus visit sometime soon is huge. With that, Anna, how are you? Great to see you.
Hey folks, good to see everyone as well. Thanks for that great intro. Always appreciate all of the praise. Like Coach O said, my name is Anna Richardson. I am an admissions counselor at Oberlin, but I am an OB, so I graduated in 2018. And I was on the track and field team here, and I was able to become a two-time All-American in my time as well. So I'm really excited just to be here to talk to possibly future OBs that are also athletes. I'm just gonna go over some simple things, so I'm not gonna be talking forever. The other coaches are definitely more fun to listen to, but I'm just gonna talk about our application, what it takes, and then I'm gonna talk about our deadlines, and then finally, just a brief overview of how financial aid and merit aid works. So you might have seen in the chat, they have been asking you all to put any questions you have in Q&A, and the Q&A feature down in Zoom. So feel free to add those as we go, and I'll be here for a while answering those, but all the coaches are really, really knowledgeable as well. So thinking about our application, we take the Common App and we take the Coalition app. At Oberlin, we do not have an application fee. There is no additional essay, and we've also just gone test optional. So really, really straightforward to put in your application. There's not a lot of extra things that you need to do there. When you're looking at the actual pieces of the app, we still do require, obviously, your transcript. We require your guidance counselor's recommendation letter and a school profile. And then finally, 2 teacher recommendations. So the teacher recommendations are in your core classes. So that's like math, science, things like that. We love football, but we don't want to see your football's recommendation letter come along with your application. So those are the basic things you need. There's really nothing else to the application in general. So looking at deadlines, Oberlin is a school that uses early decision. So early decision is a binding decision. What it means is that I'm going early decision is if I'm accepted, I will be coming to your school and I will withdraw my application from every other school. So that means you're married to Oberlin. So we have 2 different deadlines for that. We have ED1, which is going to be November 15th, followed by ED2, which is January 2nd, and our regular decision deadline is January 15th. You probably have heard the coaches maybe talk a little bit about early decision. If you haven't, you probably will hear them talk a little bit more about it in the future. But we do like to use early decision a lot with our athletes. The reason that is because we are a pretty selective school. We accept anywhere between 38 down to 32% of students that apply. So in regular decision, so in early decision, it is a little bit, the acceptance rate is a little bit higher, but also coaches have the ability to support your application more readily in that round. So that's why you're gonna be hearing this coming up, but also it's nice just to have all that stuff out of the way pretty early. When you're looking at financial aid and merit, so Oberlin's a school that meets 100% of need. I know that's kind of like a big term, admissions, we throw it out all the time, but what that means is when you go and do your federal application for aid, the FAFSA, you will fill out all that stuff. It gives you an estimated family contribution or EFC, and based off of that, and also a CSS profile, which has to do with your assets, that number is your estimated contribution, and Oberlin is dedicated to filling in anything between. So if this is our full tuition, your estimated contributions here, we're dedicated to filling all this in with scholarships, with grant, work study, and as little bit of loans as we possibly can. And that is just our whole model of financial aid. Looking at merit, we do merit based on your high school transcript and your high school test scores if you choose to submit those standardized test scores. And it's literally just based off of your academic rating. So we have the folks with the highest academic rating getting the largest packets down. And by applying, you are all considered for merit. And we have around 85% of all students receiving some kind of financial aid or merit as part of their financial aid package. So that's my little spiel. If you do have any other questions about that or I missed anything, you can feel free to put those in the question and answer, but I'm going to hand it back over to Coach O now.
Anna, you're the best. I appreciate that kind of overview. One question that'll come up with top-rated recruits the most, you talk about a top school in the country. What academic areas are we most known for? What can they find as some Princeton Review, USA Today, top 10 programs that we kind of hang our hats on?
Yeah, definitely. So we have over 50 different majors at Oberlin. So a lot of different things are going on, but definitely our biology has been in the top for a long time. We're seeing really, really wonderful things coming out of that department, as well as it being our largest major on campus. And we also have a really strong in politics. We're really strong. We have one of the first neuroscience departments in the United States. Our computer science is very, very strong, having multiple folks getting hired at Google every year. Not to mention English, and we have even cinema studies. So those are just some of the things that really stand out. Not to say that there's not lots and lots of wonderful things. As you could tell, as I'm answering the question, I keep wanting to add more and more majors and the wonderful things that they're doing. Because really with your Oberlin education, you can do so much, but those are the things that will come up in the ratings and things like that.
And I'm going to wrap it up with a question kind of shot directly to you. Coming from the West Coast, being successful as a student athlete, hearing your name, even my first couple of weeks here, what was the recruiting process? What made this place home for a top-rated student athlete back in the day?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so this is always a funny question. So I'm from Eugene, Oregon, and I definitely didn't know about Oberlin before I was recruited. So if any of you are like, what's this Oberlin place? You were not alone, but you're very lucky to definitely be here, as I was lucky. Basically, I had this coach. He was reaching out to me. He was pretty insistent about Oberlin and all the different things that I could possibly do there. I definitely thought that I wanted to go to a big D1 school. That's kind of like where my head was at that point. My junior year, I was the state runner-up in the discus, and senior year, I ended up winning the state championship. So I was like, oh, like I want to be D1. This is what I want to do. And so I visited some places. They were okay. And this guy was like, just come out for a visit. It's free, this kind of thing. So I got onto campus. And long story short, I basically just like fell in love with Oberlin. From the people that were here were just really amazing. Everyone was really, really nice, and they brought me in, but I got to sit in on a class. And the first thing that happened in the class was the professor introduced themselves to me, and then he asked a question about, he said, oh, what's your opinion on this topic? I don't want you to have any kind of knowledge to back it up, but we're gonna start our discussion there. So that was just the beginning of my academic experience there, but also the coaches and the facilities and the things like that. I met people there that started off as really, really folks who didn't know what they were going to do, who are now at Harvard Med School and doing really, really wonderful things. So that close touch and those really close relationships that I got with my professors, the fact that I got to do research, all those different things are what really ended up selling me on Oberlin. And at the end of the day, I made the decision to go early decision after visiting campus, only just a couple days later. So that's what really stuck out to me and why I chose Oberlin, and I'm happy that I did.